Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a session today that we're going to be discussing the 2024 profile of the home buyers and sellers. This comes from the National Association of Realtors surveys. And they basically do this every single year. They send out surveys and then they give us the results every single year of the surveys, which is great because it gives us a lot of insight to what our clients are actually thinking and doing. So let me go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see exactly what we're going through here. I do have these packets printed out here at the office, so we'll leave them here either in the Sky Lounge or on the resource room desk. Let me share my screen. So this is a little bit of a dry kind of, session here today. This isn't the normal kind of thing that we typically do, but realistically, to kind of go over and break down all the information, we're just going to go into the certain sections and really look at things. Has anyone ever used this information before in any of their presentations or conversations with clients? Or even better, are you using any of this information in your social media?
I've used it in social media before.
Good. Yeah, this will give you a lot of good information that you can utilize for everything. But hopefully, this information will also open up your eyes to give you some good insight to maybe some things you aren't doing that might change the way you're doing your business. So let's go ahead and dive in. This is all the information on who helped prepare the surveys and who's going over the information. But realistically, we're going to break down the characteristics of a home buyer, characteristics of homes purchased, the home search process, home buying and real estate professionals, financing the home purchase, home sellers and their selling experience, home selling and real estate professionals, and then for sale by owners and sellers methodology. So let's dive right in. I'm not going to get into this part. All right, so part of the home buyer demographics, the ages of home buyers reached all-time highs. So the median buyer age increased to a peak of 56 years old, up from 49 years from last year. The median first-time buyer age increased to 38 years old this year from 35 last year, while the typical repeat buyer age also increased to 61 years from 58 years last year. The share of married couples increased to 62% of all buyers. The share of single females slightly increased to 20%, and the share of single males decreased to 8%. The share of unmarried couples also decreased this year to 6%. So just giving a little bit of insight there for home buyers demographics. 88% of recent home buyers identified as heterosexual, 3% as gay or lesbian, 2% as bisexual, 1% prefer to self-describe, and 6% prefer not to answer. So they've added this in the past, like probably 5 years now. So it's interesting that they're actually looking at this into breaking down the demographics of where buyers are coming from. First-time home buyers, this is good information here. It decreased to 24% of the market share. 32% was last year. It's no kind of surprise with the way interest rates have gone to see this. This year now marks the lowest share since NAR began collecting data in 1981. That's also not surprising. With high interest rates and actually pricing still increasing, it's no wonder that it's actually decreasing. So reasons to purchase a home. At 22%, the primary reason for purchasing a home was the desire to own a home for their own. The first-time buyers, this number jumps to 64%. So that's huge to see. Primary reason why people are still buying homes is the desire to be an owner. It's still very high percent. 43% of all buyers said that the timing was just right and they were ready to purchase a home. The second most common reason was that the buyer did not have much choice and they had to purchase the home when they did. So a little bit different there. Okay, new versus previously owned homes. 15% of buyers purchased a new home and 85% of buyers purchased a previously owned home. And then recent buyers who purchased new homes were most often looking to avoid renovations and problems with plumbing or electricity at 42%. Buyers who purchased previously owned homes considered them a better value at 31%. Buyers typically purchased a home that was built in 1994. This is a rebound after the last 2 years when buyers typically purchased homes built in 1980s. So I guess it makes sense that more resale homes, I guess, are averaging in the year 1994. So home type and size. Detached single-family homes continue to be the most common home type for the recent buyers at 75%, followed by townhomes or row house as 7%. So I would anticipate that actually will increase each year since more and more cities are trying to get more density. And obviously with townhomes, you will get more density in those city centers. So I would definitely see that increasing year by year. Let's see, senior-related housing. Senior-related housing remained at 19% of buyers over the age of 60 this year. Among buyers over 60 who recently purchased senior-related housing, 58% purchased a detached single-family home and 52% bought in a suburb or subdivision. This was interesting. They always do this as well. The distance moved. Distance between the home that recent buyers purchased and the home they moved from was 20 miles. This is down from 2022 report of 50 miles, but remains elevated from the distance of 15 miles seen in 2018 to 2021. Everyone knows why. Why did that happen?
Probably COVID.
COVID, exactly. So 2020, 2021 was the largest rise ever for people to move farther away from their work. And that was because of remote working. And now we're going to see a huge shift of companies making it forced that their employees come into the office. That's actually already gone into effect with multiple companies. In fact, Amazon has also pushed that they're going to be making people come back to work in next month. So we're already starting to get here from some brokers who are getting more clients who have to move back. Some people moved even out of the state and they were still working here, but they had to maybe come and fly back and like go to work maybe for like a few days every few months, but that's all changing. So that's definitely going to decrease, obviously year by year. And companies actually are saying it's a great excuse rather than laying off people to let people quit themselves since they moved so far away. So there'll be more of that happening. All right, so expected length of home ownership. Overall, buyers expected to live in their homes for a median of 15 years, while 25% say they were never moving. And then home search tools. This is great. Move this thing out of the way. In 2024, the home buying process for many started online, with 43% of buyers indicating that their first step was to look for properties on the internet. Additionally, 21% of all buyers reached out to a real estate agent as their initial action. Real estate agents played a crucial role, with 86% of all buyers utilizing their services, the highest of all information sources used. So 86% of buyers will start to reach out. So that's huge. While all buyers use the internet in their search, mobile or tablet devices were also widely used, with 69% of buyers relying on these tools. Real estate agents were the most useful information source in the home search process. And then open houses, while not as popular, were still deemed very useful by 23% of buyers. In the digital space, website features were considered important, with 41% of buyers finding photos to be very useful, 39% valued detailed property information, and 31% appreciating floor plans. For those of you that use Matterport, that is a great piece of technology. We do have Exposio and a couple other companies that cater to you guys. Obviously, in your My Desk, you can order that straight through the one-click process, and you do get a discount for being John Scott Broker as well. And you can do floor plans with Matterport, and those are fantastic. And that obviously gives you a little bit better marketing than just your standard photos. Let's see, length of search where buyer finds home. Buyers spent a median of 10 weeks searching for a home in 2024. Buyers typically viewed 7 homes, and 2 of those homes were viewed online only. Most buyers found their homes through online searches, 51%, followed by 29% who found their property through a real estate agent, and 8% who discovered their home through a friend, relative, or neighbor. Most difficult step. This is really good. Finding the right property was the most difficult aspect of the home buying process, with 55% of buyers highlighting this difficulty. First-time buyers in particular found understanding the process and steps to be a significant challenge at 36%. Additionally, 32% of first-time buyers cited saving for a down payment to be the most difficult step. So understanding those 3 different things can actually help you guys do different ads or different things about talking about how you can make the process of buying a home very easy, and even giving first-time home buyers great ideas for how to save for down payment. So just doing things like that might actually get you some more engagement with some first-time home buyers. But search satisfaction, overall, the majority of buyers were satisfied with their home buying experience. In fact, 59% reported being very satisfied, while 33% expressed being somewhat satisfied with the process. All right, so here's highlights for buying with a real estate professional. 88% of home purchases were made through a real estate agent or broker, demonstrating the continued importance of agents in the home buying process. So we expect this number probably to even rise next year with the implementation of the buyer representation agreements, right? Got to have the buyer broker representation agreement in order to even work with a broker. So we expect that to greatly increase. But what will be interesting the very most will be, will that same client work with you again? So 5% of buyers purchase their home directly from a builder or builder's agent, and 5% directly from the previous owner. So an off-market deal, that a for sale by owner. When comparing new and previously owned homes, 63% of new home buyers used a real estate agent, while a striking 92% of buyers of previously owned homes relied on an agent or a broker. So still very, very high. What is wanted and benefits of real estate broker? Home buyers primarily sought help finding the right home to purchase. So that's 49%, and negotiating the terms of the sale, 14%. Over half of all buyers, 53%, said their agent helped them understand the home buying process. This service was even more critical for first-time buyers, with 80% reporting that their agent's assistance in understanding the process was invaluable. So, how buyer found real estate agent or broker? This is huge, people. Real estate agents are frequently referred by personal connections, with 40% of all buyers finding their agent through a friend. So if you are not asking for referrals, then this is where you guys are, could be missing the boat and not getting as much business. So definitely have a plan in place for you to engage with your past clients and to be able to also remind them that you are their broker for life and that you would be happy to help any of their friends or family or coworkers, regardless of whatever state or country they need help with real estate in, because you do have the leading RE network that you can send referrals to anywhere on the planet. Don't forget that. So, neighbor or a relative, this trend was especially pronounced among first-time buyers, where 51% relied on referrals from their personal network. 37% of repeat buyers found their agent through a referral, and 21% used the agent they had previously worked with to buy or sell. So 21% is actually higher than it's been in a long time. Last year's, I believe it was 14 or 15%. So very interesting to hear that it's actually rising. Most buyers only interviewed one agent before making a decision, with 77% of repeat buyers. So that's another thing that's really huge. If you're the first one in line, you have a 77% chance of actually winning that client. So first one there wins. So how can you get to clients faster? All right, real estate agent broker satisfaction. At least 90% of buyers each expressed satisfaction with their agent's responsiveness, knowledge of the purchase process, honesty and integrity, knowledge of the real estate market, and people skills. 88% of the home buyers would use their agent again or recommend to others. After purchasing within the last year, 61% of home buyers have already recommended their agent. So that is huge. So people are doing a better job at talking to their clients and reminding them to refer them and that you're always there. How are you guys currently doing that right now? Let's open this up for some dialogue.
Well, me personally, I talk to everybody I can, not being a secret agent, just let them know that, I'm building my business and because they know me, that I would ask that they might feel comfortable referring me, giving a card to anyone that they hear that's, kind of in that mode of thinking about real estate or maybe doing searches online. I don't usually say buying or selling real estate because I feel like that puts too much pressure on people, but just kind of saying, well, if you talk to someone who's doing searches online or maybe thinking about needing some information, and that seems to open the door a lot easier to getting people to refer me who aren't clients. I mean, my clients are all over in Spokane. I'm talking about new people that I'm meeting, a doctor, a person that I deal with every day at the store or something like that.
Yeah, no, that's great. Anyone else?
I throw in there that if anybody has any real estate needs or if they need any help finding contractors, I'm always like, I have like three of everything. So I get a lot of people, and I think that that's a way also to kind of keep you top of mind, and then throw in, hey, but if you happen to know anybody that has any real estate needs or any questions, please send them my way.
Yeah, no, that's huge. Business to business connections are very, very important. every single one of you should have your list broken down of everyone you know for real estate needs. That, you know, people who do landscaping, window washers, HVAC people, sewer line, you know, cleaners, plumbers, electricians, roofers. I mean, every single thing, every niche you can think of, you should have them on your short list.
I
A
have
really
like,
good thing. Oh, go ahead, Vanessa.
I was gonna say like my roofer, he's a good friend and he used to be a realtor, so he's kind of trained to start asking those questions. And I get multiple, I've gotten multiple listings from him just because he's like, oh, you know, why are you guys changing your roof? Are you moving? So kind of like helping them ask the right questions, because if you're sending them business, they're gonna try to send you business back.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's huge. That's pretty much what I was gonna say too. Like, you gotta give to get, right? So every time you can give referrals to those business partners, they remember that and they're like, man, I owe you. I gotta send you someone. So it's great to, you know, you guys work together. If you don't have those people, get a list together. You really need to have this. And that's something, just like Vanessa said, if you can reach out to all your clients and say, hey, let me know if you have any real estate needs whatsoever. I have, you know, contractors, roofers, electricians. I have people who can help with remodels, you know, so let me know, you know, whatever need there is. So that's huge. All right. Highlights, financing the home purchase, right? Buyers who finance their home and all cash buyers, 74% of all buyers finance their homes, a decrease from last year from 80%. So first time buyers were more likely to finance their purchase at 91%, while only 69% of repeat buyers financed. The median percent financed for first time buyers was 91%. It's down slightly from 92. And the median percent financed for repeat buyers was 77%, which is down from 81% last year. 26% of home buyers paid cash for their home, an all-time high for all cash buyers. You guys hear that? All cash buyers? That's why is that happening? What do you guys think?
Equity growth from all of these price increases, I think.
Yeah, there's that. We got a lot of people. There's a huge movement of retirement coming, right?
Yeah.
The senior tsunami, it's been called. They're making the moves regardless of like what the rates are. That has nothing to do with when people have to buy or sell. If they have all cash, they're going to make a move.
Also investors too.
Yeah, lots of investors. Yeah, absolutely. So that is totally makes sense. So, you know, understanding how the process works for cash buyers is critical for you. Understanding forms like the 22EF, that is something that you should be very familiar with for when it comes to cash deals. Non-contingent source of funds, understanding, you know, the Jerry Maguire clause, as I call it. Understanding that will be critical to, you know, how well you'll be able to put together contracts and to compete. And now vice versa, for people who have financing, how do you compete with that many people coming in with cash? What would you do? What's the
guarantee on low appraisal is a big one.
Yeah,
Because, you know, giving someone a guarantee, that's won my clients many a deal, even over cash buyers.
Be fully underwritten.
thank you, Vanessa. Yep. I was going to say, what thing has to do with financing? If you're going to compete with cash, the only way is fully underwritten approved. Making sure your lender does a good job at explaining to the listing broker that, hey, this buyer's fully underwritten approved. We close in 10 days. Oh, we just need a clean title, good appraisal. That's
I
it.
have one lender that they do a $10,000 earnest money guaranteed to the seller, but obviously
Yeah,
they have to be fully underwritten, and that
yeah.
is a game changer.
Oh, heck yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. Types of mortgage. So let's see, 64% of all buyers used a fixed rate mortgage. 77% of first-time buyers and 60% of repeat buyers use a fixed rate. 52% of first-time buyers utilized a conventional loan to finance their home, and 29% used an FHA loan, and 9% used a VA loan. The share of first-time buyers using an FHA loan has declined from 55% in 2009 to 29% in 2024. So huge gap. Obviously, a lot of different loan programs, conventional loan, with the FHA after 2008, that having that mortgage protection, uh, obviously raises the cost for first-time home buyers to utilizing an FHA. So with conventional not having that definitely makes a difference. So it's no wonder to see that percentage decrease. Buyers' view of homes as a financial investment. Buyers continue to see purchasing a home as a good financial investment. 79% reported believing that a home purchase is a good investment. And among those buyers, 39% said it was better than owning stock. Huge, right? Let's see, home sellers. Typical age of home sellers was 63 this year, and it is the highest ever recorded. Highest ever. The share of married couples selling their home was 69% this year, an increase from 65% last year, which marks the first increase in 4 years for this share. The share of single females who sold their home decreased this year to 18%. Of all homes sold on the market, 77% did not have children under the age of 18 residing in the home. So very interesting, of maybe your listings you had this year, if it matched up. Homes sold versus homes purchased. 18% of home sellers purchased a home in another region to one they sold a home. And 66% of home sellers moved within the same state, and 16% remained in the same region. 36% of sellers traded up and purchased a home that was larger in size than what they previously owned, and 30% bought a home that was similar in size, and 32% traded down and purchased a home that was smaller in size. So 52% of all sellers purchased a newer home than their previous home. 27% purchased a home of the same age, and 25% purchased an older home. For all sellers, the most commonly cited reason for selling their home was the desire to move closer to friends and family. You might want to be writing down some of these key things and reasons for people, because you can use this for your advertising, for your social media posts. That would be one of my first headings, maybe. Hey, are you looking to move closer to friends and family? I mean, that is like a perfect opening line to open it up to conversations, right? So 23% followed by the home was too small, 12% home was too large, 11% in the neighborhood becoming less desirable was 10%. Tenure in home, the median number of years a seller owned their home was 10. It was the same last year. That number was higher than reported from 2000 to 2008, when the tenure in the home was only 6 years, which everybody knows what happened during those times. Sales price, time on the market, incentives for prospective buyers. For recently sold homes, the final sales price was a median of 100% of the final listing price. This continues to be the highest recorded median since 2002. For all sellers, time on the market this year was a median of 3 weeks, 1 week longer than last year. So not that huge of a difference. So 10 years. So for those of you that work with your title people, right? Your escrow person, I get a meeting with them, and if you're farming, why don't you start looking for people who've been in their home from 9 to 12 years? And there you go. Now you got a new target, and you might be able to start getting ahead of these people that start selling on an average after only 10 years. So that's also a good point for you to find some additional business. All right, home selling in the real estate professional. 90% of sellers sold with the assistance of a real estate agent, up from 89 last year, and only 6% for sale by owners. It's an all-time low. So that's good to know that that percentage is even lowering even more. Among sellers who knew the buyer, 38% sold their homes themselves. In contrast, 95% of sellers who did not know the buyer were assisted by a broker. Finding a real estate agent, 66% of recent sellers use an agent that was referred to them or used an agent they had worked with in the past to buy or sell a home. 81% of recent sellers contacted only one agent before finding the right agent they worked with to sell their home. You got an 81% chance of winning that first listing as long as you're the first one to get an appointment. So
Being person is better.
huge. So in person is best.
Do you think being the first person rather than the fourth or fifth, always better be first?
Well, in this case, you know that they only interview one person,
Gotcha.
right? So 81% of them. 77% was for buyers, 81 for sellers. So very, very high percentages of first one in line can win. Let's see. 50% of recent home sellers use the same real estate agent to represent them when purchasing or selling their home. That number jumps to 71% for sellers within 10 miles of their home purchase. So huge number for, if you're selling their home and they're buying, that more than likely you're going to get to work with them as well. 71%, that's huge, which makes sense, especially if people to go contingent. What sellers most want and factors for choosing an agent. So pay attention to closely to this information. 85% of sellers reported that their agents provided a broad range of services within the home sale. 8% of sellers note that their agent only provided a limited set of services. And 8% said their agent listed the home on the MLS, but performed few other services. So realistically, they're looking for someone who kind of does a lot of services. So keep that in mind with your listing presentations. You need to make sure you're mentioning you do a lot of different services. Sellers placed a high priority on the following 3 tasks. Help market the home to potential buyers, 22%, price the home competitively, 20%, and sell the home within a specific time frame, 18%. The real estate agent's reputation remains the most important factor when sellers select an agent to sell their home, 35%, and an agent's trustworthiness and honesty, 21%. So still high on the list that they want to work with someone who's honest and trustworthy, right? Methods used to market the home. Real estate agents listed homes on MLS first and foremost, 86%. They also posted yard signs, 61%, posted open houses, 58%. So think about that. Close to just half of the brokers, when they go to list a seller's home, only half of them almost are doing an open, and that's it. Don't you think that's a huge selling point that you can actually talk about to a seller? So when you show up and say, hey, seller, did you know that only 50% of brokers actually do open houses? Not only am I going to do an open house, but I'm actually going to do a seller listing launch. And what that means is that we're going to list on a Thursday and we're going to have your house open on that very first day. It's going to be pre-scheduled in the Northwest MLS before it even goes live. And what you're going to do is, what this also does, seller, is it actually bypasses Redfin. Because the number one reason that Redfin is successful isn't the discount. That's what a lot of people think, but it's not. You know what it is? It's convenience. Convenience is the number one reason why people will use them, because they make it so easy for showings. Well, what we're going to do, seller, is I'm going to have those open houses pre-scheduled. So right when the listing goes live, it's actually going to show that today is the first open house. There'll be an open house on Friday for a twilight, and then Saturday and Sunday. So you're going to knock out 4 open houses on the very first launching weekend. And we're going to corral all those buyers for you, seller. So having a strategy like this is actually going to get a lot of sellers to go, yeah, that's a really good idea. I've never heard of that before. And especially when half of the brokers out there they're not even going to do an open house for you. So why waste your time? I'm ready to go. I actually have my 1A listing agreement already filled out. I'm ready. Are you? I mean, there's your closing statement.
For sure.
Methods used to market. Oh yeah, we did that. Agent satisfaction. Most sellers, 87%, said they would definitely. 72% or probably, and 15% recommend their agent for future services. So nearly 2/3 of sellers have recommended their agent at least once in selling their home in the last year. So they're giving at least one referral to someone, they said, within the year. Now, did that person reach out? Well, good. You really need to talk to your sellers and explain to them what's the best way to refer you. So have a strategy for that as well. All right, let's highlight some for sale by owners. Any questions, you guys, or comments?
Green light.
Is this helpful?
That's very interesting. Very helpful. I like the way you're tying in some ideas into the data, of how to market, how to approach the clients. I very much appreciate this.
Awesome. All right, so for sale by owners and agents assisted sales, 90% of sellers sold with the assistance of real estate agent. That's up from 89. For sale by sellers, it's the share of for sale by owners sellers was a historical low. That's another statistic you can tell someone who's thinking about selling on their own. Did you know that this last year was the lowest it's ever been in history for sale by owners? Very, very strange. So characteristics of homes sold. For sale by owner homes were more likely to be mobile or manufactured homes at 8%, and 5% detached single family homes were for sale by owners, and 96% of apartments, condos in a building with 5 or more units were agent assisted sales. For sale by owners typically sell for less than the selling price of other homes. For sale by owner homes sold for a median of $380,000 in 2023. It's up from 310 in 2022, still far lower than the median selling price of all homes, which was 435,000. Agent assisted homes sold for a median of 435. So going on your own, not only you're thinking like, oh, I'm saving that commission. No, you're losing way more money than just selling the home itself. So that's good to know when you got people who maybe are trying to do this. Most common way for sale by owners price their home was through an appraisal, 40%, followed by using recent homes sold in an area, 36%. Online home evaluation tools is 16%, and profit seller needed from the sale is 15%. Very interesting that they've got that figure. Let's see. Let's skip. For sale by owners, main reasons to sell via for sale by owner was because they sold to a relative, friend, or a neighbor. So that's another thing you can say, hey, you're trying to sell. Are you trying to sell to, or were you trying to sell to a relative, friend, or a neighbor, and that didn't work out, and that's why you're trying to sell on your own? Oh, and they say no, and say, oh, really? Because 38%, that's typically the reasons that for sale by owners, go that route. But 30% of all for sale by owner sellers did not want to pay a commission or fee. But 63% of all for sale by owner sellers did not actively market their home. And getting the price right, 17% selling within the length of time planned. and 13%, and understanding and performing the paperwork was 10%, were most difficult steps for sale by owners. So knowing those three things, now you know some reasons to say, hey, I will handle everything. I will do the marketing. I will make sure it's priced, we'll price it right, and that you won't have to take forever to sell and not waste all your time. And I'll take care of all the paperwork for you, which all of those things are the biggest stressors for sale by owners.
I think that's a good way to overcome that objection also. If somebody's like, well, I might sell it on my own. Okay, great. I can understand why you would want to sell it on your own. Let me ask you this. Are you planning to sell it to a relative, to a friend, to a neighbor?
Yep.
Something like that?
100%. That's exactly, yep, what I was meaning.
I might add in that conversation, I would ask them, based on an average price home, I would say, if you like this neighbor or relative that much, you want to sell them your home, off market, would you be willing to write them a check for $50,000 today? And,
Yeah.
if that person says, well, no, then say, well, that's probably the average amount that you're going to give up by not marketing your house out to the broader market. So just consider, whether that's worthwhile to you or not. And that line has worked very, very well in the past for me.
Yep. All right, let's break down a couple of these other things. Let's see. There was one thing in here I wanted to hit. Was it? Where was it? Touch on a couple things to really make sure we get down. Okay, so 10 weeks. Here it is. Buyers spend a median of 10 weeks searching for their home. So if you know there takes about 10 weeks, right? That's about on average. It means you have to start getting in front of buyers, right? 10 weeks, but you got to get 11 weeks or whatever. You got to be marketing. You got to get into conversations, 11 to 12 weeks before they start the process, right? Mm-hmm. So if we know where the most difficult steps were, right? Here are the three. Finding the right property was the most difficult aspect of the home buying process. And of course, the paperwork, is a huge challenge, and understanding the process. And of course, how to deal with down payment. So utilizing those types of things, what type of an ad do you think you could write to start putting this out there? You could put this out on your social media. You can use Instagram, do it on stories, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, anything that you can put an ad on. What's something that you might try if you're trying to get buyers?
Off of the value of the purchase price, I think the proper guide, formula that will work for that individual, like a fair plan,
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. Well, if you know that they're stressed about that kind of stuff, making sure that they understand that you will take care of all of this. Mm-hmm. You will be their guide, and you will be able to help them negotiate the best deal possible, and also for them to understand the process, the paperwork, and also even give them some options about helping with down payment. There's a lot of different programs out there. So just by mentioning a few of these things is going to give you an advantage to gain some leads. Do you guys know that coming up, we are literally, let's see, today is the 10th, is today the 9th? 10th. Today's the 10th. We are coming up for the highest real estate online activity week of the entire year. Did you guys know that?
No.
Yep, coming up right before Christmas through like January like 3rd, somewhere in there, that whole time is online real estate traffic like peak. Why is that?
So many people are at home, look at them doing boards, pull up and scrolling. Think
Yeah.
about next year buying, right? What are we gonna do?
Yeah, because there's two major reasons. One is they're home, they're off, they have time together, they get to go online, they're looking, they're thinking, they're talking about the planning process of what will next year look like, where will they move to, what kind of options do they have available to them? Is this the right year to buy? So they start then. And then the other thing is they get new devices, right? There's tons of new electronic sales. The highest electronic sales of the year happens during the holiday time. So now they got new iPads, they got new phones, they've got new computers, new tablets. So that is the perfect time for you guys to start doing ads. Who does Google ads? I know a couple of you in this Zoom. Who does Google ads?
Yeah.
Not yet?
I don't, but I'm gonna start to next year.
I thought you did, Vanessa.
No, all my stuff comes organically from all my reviews, but I do
Wow.
get leads from Google, but I don't pay. But I'm gonna start paying.
Well, don't forget in your My Desk, if you click on the boost icon, the quick link, that is John L. Scott Boost. We do have Nicole Cortinez, that is the person that helps run that. She will help you make custom ads. And I'm telling you, just the ads alone are good, right? It comes from HomeSpotter. HomeSpotter is the back end. That's the partner with John L. Scott. So it's John L. Scott technology overlapped with HomeSpotter. But there's a piece to the HomeSpotter that is fantastic, that you can upload a CSV file of all of the contacts you want the ad to be served to. So, and it's not just social media. People think, oh yeah, if I just do that, it's going to show up on Facebook and Instagram. Well, it's actually going to be served to anywhere the Google ads go. So you're talking like on ESPN, shoot, what else? Can't think of all the dang sites. Any place a Google ad can go on, any of the websites. So if let me stop my share here. I'm gonna share again. This bar. Oh. Okay, so on ESPN, as I scroll, you will see an ad that should get served. Now you got a couple of them in here. What is going on here?
You're talking about the little pop-ups in between, like on news articles or
Anything, yeah, any of those ads. Let's see, we'll click on this. Let's see, we should see. Yeah, there's an ad, but it's for ESPN. Yeah,
Well, they do the Google ads so that when somebody puts like real estate service or whatever, you all pop up. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, so that is a Google ad right here. So you can have ads show up here to your clients when they go to any websites that utilize the Google ads. And the crazy thing is, they're going to be jumping around and they're going to go, oh my gosh, Amit, I see you everywhere, bro. You're killing it. They're going to see your ads and it's you are the one that's serving them to them. They don't realize that. So it's a great way to be able to get recognition, and it's also good reminders that you're in real estate, you can help, people anywhere, anytime. So if you're going to do the boost ads, make sure you do that.
You just take a CSV file from
You need a
the-
CSV file of all of the clients, it needs their first name, last name, and email address. And if you have cell number too, that's even better because it goes on mobile as well. So definitely time of the year is critical to start these types of advertising. And easiest way is doing it right through your boost. They even have ones, I think they do specials. They do buy 1 month, $99, you get the next month free. So there's a bunch of different ones promos they do. So, and if you need help, you can reach out to Nicole Cortines. Yep, she's awesome. She will help you do custom ads. They have video ones. They have ones for all your listings, but I would definitely start getting that ready, and you need to make sure you're doing that for this holiday timing because you're going to get the best traffic. So, all right, that is it for today, you guys. Thank you for making it. Again, you can utilize these. I'll have some of the packets here in the office, and use this for your advantage. Now that you know exactly what home buyers and home sellers are doing, this gives you a huge advantage to be able to get in ahead of them and also to get more business. All right. Thanks for making it.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Eric. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye.